Remember that rock solid $485,000 median price? It just slipped by $5,000, and that may decide whether a buyer scores a deal or chases a runaway market. I'm Eric Hudson, your guide to the Vegas market, and in this update, I'll break down exactly where the numbers go next, and one quick decision could save or cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So you better stick around to know what this market is going to do for or to you. Do you want to know everything there is to know about the Las Vegas area? Whether it's Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, or Nellis or Creech Air Force bases? Then subscribe below and tap that bell notification so that you be the first to know about everything that's happening here. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you, and they're looking to make a move here to the Las Vegas area, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or even 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or even better yet, book a Zoom call, all in the description below and the pinned comment, so I can help you find your piece of Las Vegas paradise. So let's get into the numbers. This is the May update for the market. Those numbers, of course, are going to come from April because that's when it all went down. Those numbers were released yesterday. So going through and parsing out all the numbers, let's get to it. Let's figure out what this market is doing right now. So let's start with the fact that the jets are flying over, because this side of Vegas, they're night flying at Nellis. But you know, I grew up on jet noise. I used to fly myself, and you're never gonna get them out of your blood, right? Anyway, single family residence, 2,171 sold, which is actually down year over year by 7.1%. Now, if we go back a month, 2,142 sold. We go back a year to April of 2024, 2,339 sold. And we go back to 2023, it was 2,319. So you can see we're kind of staying steady there within, about 100 or so units being sold. But let's see what's really going on with some numbers. Let's get into that median price. So when we start looking at the median prices here, in April, the median price is $480,000, which is up 2.3% from last year. But wait, look back at March of 2025, which is this year, of course, a month prior, $485,000, which means it fell $5,000. Now, 485 was the record high for single family residents, and it actually had stayed very steady for 3 straight months. We go back to 2024, it was 469,000, 2023, 442,000. And for those of you who are wondering, the last high was May of 2022, which was 482,000. So we had recovered and surpassed the last high. It's just that we've come down a little bit. So we don't know if this is the start of something or just a brief little fluctuation, but let's look at some more numbers to see where things are. So if we look at the averages, now remember the median, that's when you take all the sales, look right in the middle. The average is when you take all those same sales, add them together, divide by that number, that's the average. So that is $606,710, which is up 1.3% from last year. But look at this, in March, it was $630,007. So it is actually down from March, but from last year, of course, it's up that 1.3%. And last year it was $598,676. Go back 2 years to 2023, it was $562,326. Now, this is the number you want to look at, the units available. In April, end of April, we had 6,213 units available, which is up 78.7% from last year. Go back to March, we had 5,416 units available. A year ago, in 24, we had 3,476 units available. And in 13, we had 3,645 units available. Now, one of the things we have to look at is effective months of inventory. So In April, we had 2.9 months of inventory, which is up 92.3%, which makes it kind of a weak seller's market, just weak. In reality, that number may be a little skewed by some stuff, and I'm going to start doing a few more of these videos because this market's getting interesting. I want to make sure you're aware of what's going on. In March, it was 2.5 months of inventory. In April of 24, it was 1.5 months. See that? Quite a bit more, right? 23, it was 1.4 months of inventory. Now we break it down by cities, in case you're going like, hey, that's great, that's Southern Nevada. What about the cities? Las Vegas, 1,792 sold for a median price of $440,000, average of $554,100. It's kind of hard to break this one down because Las Vegas, if you look at my map video, and I'm probably going to do another one pretty soon, it's not what it seems. It's less than half the size of what you think Las Vegas is. The rest of it is unincorporated Clark County, but it all gets lumped into here, okay? Henderson, 540 single-family homes sold, median price $595,000, average price $630,352. North Las Vegas, 333 sold. That is an interesting number, 333. Median price $414,990 with an average price of $425,692, which means if you're trying to save some money, I think there's a place you need to go. Now, the board, LVR, puts together the condos and townhouses. I'm a nobody, but if they were listening, looking at this, I'll say because of certain things going on in the market, you need to break that down. I may have to start breaking it down for you myself, but I'm trying to give you the board numbers, you know, because these are the numbers that are the official numbers, and you'll see why in a minute. So in April, 544 units sold, which is down 12.4%. March, 570 sold. April of last year, 544. And in 2023, 684. Now let's go look at the prices. The median price for April was $302,700. Now for March, which was the high, was $306,495. Go back a year, it was $290,000. Go back 2 years, it was $275,000. Here's a problem with the condos and townhouses being put together. They're actually two different things. They like to say that they're multifamily, which they are. The problem is they're really two different markets. And right now, condos are kind of suffering, whereas townhomes are okay. That's why I don't like them being combined like this. So, I mean, that's my thing, okay? The averages, April, $310,438. When you look for March, it was $321,024. And you compare that to last year, which was $311,018. And 2023, $287,964. Okay, now let's go into the units that are available. Now watch this. April, 2,390 units available, which is up from last year, 91.5%. Go to March, 2,204 units available. Last year, 1,248 units available. 2 years ago, 925. Let that sink in. So effective months of inventory for April, 4.4 months. We are darn near in a buyer's market. We're darn near in a buyer's market. But this is another reason. I guarantee you, if I were to break this out, those condos are sitting on the market a lot longer than the townhomes. That's up 118%. March was 3.9. A year ago, 2 months, a seller's market. 2 years ago, 1.4 months. A strong seller's market. Things are starting to change. Let's break it down by the cities. Las Vegas, 379 sold for $285,000. Median price, average of $301,775. Henderson, 102 for $355 with an average of $351,765. North Las Vegas, 49, median of $332,990 and an average of $324,343. Now let's start breaking down numbers that people have asked in the past. Okay, so I want to start off with single family. Of the 2,175 that sold. Conventional, 1,012 sold, which was 46.52%. Cash, 21.14% for 460, which is way down from the normal for Vegas, because for Vegas, it's normally about, guess what, 30%. So, you know, the good old days of going, hey, can't you find me a California buyer who sold their house in San Diego that they bought for, you know, $250,000 30 years ago, and they just sold it for $2 million? Yeah, those have all sold out, okay? FHA, 443 sold for 20.36%. VA, you know, that's my favorite, 209 sold for 9.6%. Going to that condo and townhome market, 554 sold total, 170 were cash for 31.19%. Conventional, 225 for 41.28%. FHA, 100 of them gone for 18.34%. VA, 39 for 7.15%. Now I'm going to combine them for 2,814, because people are always asking, hey, I want a single story for this reason or that one. Single stories are very popular. I always like to remind people it's more expensive per square foot for single stories because it's more expensive to build out than up. Also, keep in mind, condos, townhomes is a form of ownership. So there are single story townhomes. There are single story condos. Believe it or not, there are townhomes with pools. I mean, like, not the townhome itself has, I mean, like, that unit has a pool. It's rare, but it happens, okay? Speaking of pools, 205 units sold with pools. 386 had spas. Now, the next one, we always got people, well, I want a repo, I want a short sale. I'm trying to save money. I don't mind fixing it up. Well, guess what? With all those thousands of sales, how many were repos? 18. How many were short sales? 9. So these are very rare things to happen. I've had people reach out and go, well, I want a repo on a fourplex. There has been a repo on a fourplex in years. So I'm just telling you how rare it is, especially now. People have too much equity right now. The only people that have repos or short sales are people who put their heads in the sand and it finally caught up with them, okay? Houses with 3-car garages that sold, 525. 5+ bedrooms, 268. So if you're looking for that big house, that's how many sold. Those with 3+ bathrooms, I have to warn you, the system doesn't really pull it out, but that could be a 2.5 bath house, because, you know, that's 3 bathrooms, you know, 2.5 baths, you know, is 2,373 homes. 5+ bedrooms with 3+ bath is 108. I always have people call up and they go like, I don't want a house with an HOA. Okay, just telling you up front, houses without HOAs are usually in older parts of town. I'm going to leave it at that for this video. I can do a separate video on HOA if somebody wants me to and there's enough interest. Houses with no HOA that sold last month, 668. HOA houses, 2146. Pretty much all townhomes, condos will be an HOA. I've run across townhomes without HOAs. These are very, very old townhomes where it kind of, they just run like Lord of the Flies. Single family homes, over 70% are going to have HOAs. If it's new, it's going to have an HOA. If it's in Summerlin, any of the master plan community, it's going to have an HOA. End of story. SIDs and LIDs. Those are like these master plan communities. When they build them, the roads inside, the utilities, all that stuff, that's put in by the people who built the master plan community, not the county. So they build them, they pay for them, and they charge them to you. That is a SID and LID. Casitas, you'll have people who want a casita. I'll discuss casitas in another video, but they can be attached or detached. Gated neighborhoods, I hate to tell you, they are a panacea. People want into your neighborhood, they're going to get in. 1,027 homes sold in a gated neighborhood, and that includes guard gated, because they will just jump one of the perimeter fences unless it's one of these really fancy places. Homes with septic, which are no longer allowed. So if you have a septic and you really want one, lucky you. 84. Wells, 46. Same with a lawn. You're no longer allowed to have a lawn here. Horse properties, 42. Doesn't mean they're horses, means that it's zoned for that. You may not even be able to fit a horse in there, but it's zoned for it. Age restricted, so those are 55 plus communities. I probably need to do another video on those. Sold 181 of those. Homes with basements. Yes, we have basements here. Not many. Has to do with the soil conditions here. It's very expensive to dig out a basement. 11 of those sold. Now, to round it up or out, as far as mortgage rates go, we all know that they're high right now. So according to the date I pulled this was May the 7th, the 30-year mortgage rate average, remember I'm not a banker, I'm just doing national averages from Mortgage News Daily, 6.86%, 15-year 6.19%, jumbo 7%, FHA 6.25%, VA 6.27%. Anyway, if you're looking help in finding your own Vegas adventure, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can even book a Zoom call. All of that is in the description below and the pinned comment. If you want to stay updated on the latest and greatest happenings here in the Las Vegas area, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap on that bell notification so you know every time I drop a new video. I try to do at least 2 per week when stuff isn't happening in my life. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today. For any of my military brothers and sisters, you know what I'm about to say next. Alpha Mike Foxtrot. And for the more than 50% of my viewers who've never served, you know that I love you, and you know that I'm going to keep them lights on for you. I hope to meet you in person at some point in the future, and if not, YouTube says that this is the video that you're going to enjoy seeing the most. It's going to be popping up, and it's going to be popping.